Hey there yogis, I'm Nicole. Welcome back to my yoga time. Thanks for joining me today. Today's Feel Good yoga class is focusing predominantly on our hips, but will also include the lower back and hamstrings as well. First part of this class is actually going to be recorded into two classes on YouTube. If you've chosen the restorative class, it will be reclined and all you will need is just one yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, you can improvise with something equally solid, maybe a thick book, same sort of height. And if you have chosen the flow class, then you'll need two blocks. And when you're ready, let's begin. Come on down to your back. And we'll take a hold of one block straight away. Coming into a supported bridge pose. So it's up to you here whether you have the block on the flat side, just underneath the bottom there, or you can turn it up to the second height, whichever feels best for your body. And of course, you can change the height of the block at any stage. So we'll rest here for the first few breaths, keeping the knees bent, arms out to the side, palms to face the ceiling. You can tuck those shoulders under. You might like to let the fingers naturally curl, or you can connect index finger and thumb for chin mudra. And placing the very tip of your tongue to gently rest where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. Keeping the jaw relaxed, but feeling a gentle tone in the back of your throat. A slight constriction there for Ujjayi breath. And as you inhale smoothly, deeply, notice the navel rise and expand. Take a little pause before you exhale slowly. Navel gently drawing up and in towards the spine. See if you can witness the next 3 breaths with a lingering pause in between. Well done, yogis. Let's take a hold of the left leg now. Just interlacing those hands either on top of the shin or behind the knee. And then you have the option of moving the leg into a butterfly pose, only for a few breaths, if that feels okay for your hip. So just heel toe the right foot a little further to the left and then let the knee fall out to the side. Breathing down into the hips. Deepening the breath to deepen the pose. And let's lift that knee back up now. And straightening out the leg, relaxing there, if that feels okay for your back. Let's bend the right knee once again. If your block's on the second height, let's just lower it down to the flat side just for the next couple of postures, and then we'll straighten out that left leg. So interlacing the hands behind the thigh. Now we're going to create a little bit of resistance here for the first few breaths. So press the leg into the hands and draw the hands back into the leg. Flex the foot. You might even arch the lower back here and guide the shoulders down. On your next inhalation, point the toes. As you exhale, flex the foot. Slow movement, slow breath. Well done, yogis. Relax that resistance now, and you might find that you can slide the hands up a little bit higher. And let's release. Lifting both feet up towards the ceiling. Inhale the legs out nice and wide. Then as you bring them back together, let's take a reclined pigeon, left ankle to the right knee, bend the right leg as well. And just taking a hold of that right leg wherever is comfortable and guiding the legs towards the chest. So you might choose to stay here for option 1. Option 2, you could cross the leg a little deeper, crossing at the thighs for Gomukhasana, cow face legs, then holding on to the knees or maybe even the ankles or the feet. Ujjayi breath. Breathing into the outer hip. Let's unravel those legs and lower the feet back down to the mat. If you were on the second height, you can return back to that second height. We'll do that same sequence on the other side. So collecting right leg down. If it feels okay for your hips, heel toe the left foot a little further to the right and then let the knee fall out to the side. Breathing into the left hip, hip flexor, pelvis. Lifting up that knee now and then straighten and relax the leg. Let's bend the left leg now. If you're on the second height, return to that lower height. Hamstring stretch. Create resistance between hands and leg, a little push-pull. And then follow the next inhalation to point the toes. And exhale to flex. So although we've created a little bit of resistance between the hands and the leg, let's be sure that the jaw is still relaxed. And let's soften that resistance now. Maybe you can slide the hands a little higher. Well done, yogis. Both feet up towards the ceiling. Let's take the legs out nice and wide, and as they come back together, you are either taking reclined pigeon or reclined cow face pose. So right ankle to the left knee or right leg crosses over the left. Take a hold wherever is comfortable. Do not overstrain. We're here to undo tension, not create more. Well done, yogis. Let's release those legs. And just once again, reach the feet up towards the ceiling. You might like to take a hold of the legs and just let the feet fall a little closer towards the head. And then we'll lower those feet back down to the floor. Active bridge now. Press down and away through the feet. Lift up the hips. Broaden the collarbones. Inhale, lift up the heels. Remove the block. And then slowly lower down, keeping the heels up. When you touch down to the mat, lift the feet up, stack the knees above the hips, imprint your lower back into the mat. Either hold it here or lift head and shoulders off the floor. And either staying here or feel free to alternate the legs, much like your yogi bicycles. So not quite touching down with the heel, just hovering an inch or two above the floor. It's really important that we balance our stretching with strengthening. And let's lower down. Hug it into the chest. Well done, yogis. So we're coming up in just a moment. If you can, you might like to cross at the ankles and begin to rock and roll forwards and backwards and see if you can gain enough momentum to rock up to standing without using your hands. Coming all the way up. Otherwise, just come on up when you're ready. So using your 2 blocks now, let's have them up the top of the mat. Take them to the high side and have those feet about hip width apart. When you're ready, checking the placement of your tongue and moving slowly, following your Ujjayi breath. Let's inhale, arms up, little back arch. Exhale to fold, stack the hands on your low back. Inhale, halfway up, look forward, roll the shoulder blades back onto the spine. Exhale to bow. Inhale, chair pose, knees bend, arms lift. And exhale to stand. Inhale, arms up, back arch. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the low back. Half lift, look forward. This time as you lower down, bring your hands to the blocks, left leg back. Let's come down into a lunge, lower those hips, and just make sure that your ankle is underneath that knee and not behind. So a little movement here. Let's make sure the hands are underneath the shoulders. As you exhale, take the hips back, point the right toes up towards the ceiling. And as you inhale, lunge. Lower the hips, lift the gaze. Slow movement, slow breath. Well done, yogis. So last forward fold, let's actually transition into pyramid pose here. So ground the ball of the right foot down, step your back foot just a touch closer. We've still got those feet about hip width apart though. Keep the back foot on a 45-degree angle. Inhale halfway up, gently press into both feet, lift the tailbone, and then exhale to fold. Of course, you can readjust the height of the blocks or even bring the palms to the floor. And gently pressing down and forward through those palms. Option 1 is there. Option 2, bring your right arm on the inside of the leg and reach your right arm back towards your left thigh. Well done. Let's transition into a warrior 2. So just bring your left foot back a little, spin those toes out and windmill the arms up. So opening out through the right knee, looking for your big toe on the inside. If your knee's falling in, just take the feet a little bit wider. Gently pressing into both feet, lifting the crown of the head and taking that left arm back a little into the space behind you. Option to stay here or a little flow. Bend your left knee, straighten your right leg, right toes up to the ceiling. Return to warrior 2. Let's do that for the third and final time. And then returning to warrior 2. And then twist, wrap the hands around the waist, look back towards your heel. Take the left ear a little towards the shoulder. Inhale, right arm up, lean back. And triangle pose, Trikonasana. Move the hips back as you straighten the right leg. Let's look down. Keep the left hand on the low back. Keep guiding that left shoulder back. Next inhalation, bring the left arm up. As you exhale, reach the arm overhead, palm facing down. And then transition into your lunge. Let's rock back, step up to the top of the mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale to fold, hands to calves. Either hold it here for a few breaths, breathing into the back, or squat. Bend the knees, drop the hips. Arms can either lift, or you can bring your hands around looking for your heels. If you are in your squat, take the hips up and let's all roll up to stand. And we'll practice that flow on the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Stack the palms on the low back. Half lift. Forward fold, hands to blocks, right leg back. Lunge. Bring the hands back a little, realign your heel when you're ready. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to lunge. Last forward fold. Adjust into a pyramid, step the back foot a little bit closer, ground down through the heel. Inhale, halfway up. Even effort, gently pressing into both feet. And then folding down. Adjusting the blocks if you like, or moving them to the side. Feeling a little tone through the upper body by pressing palms down and forward. Creating a little bandha, a lock around your shoulders. Either staying there or reaching that left arm on the inside of the left leg back towards the right thigh. Warrior two. Turn the right heel out a little, readjust the feet. Left heel intercepting arch on the right foot and looking for the big toe on the inside. Otherwise, feet a little bit wider. Find a softness in your strength. Either stay there or take your flow. Right knee bending, left leg straightening. Return to warrior two. Last one. Twist. Inhale, left arm up. Triangle pose. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale the arm overhead. Lower into a lunge. This time we're going to step back into our downward facing dog. Stay here as you inhale. Gently press your chest towards the thighs and broaden the shoulders. And then as you exhale, lower the knees to the mat. Inhale, back bend, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale to round the spine, downward facing dog. Let's just do one more of those. And then we'll hold our downward facing dog. Option one is to stay as you are. Option two will bring in a twist. Now you can keep your feet where they are. It will be a little bit easier if you bring them a little bit closer and maybe a little bit wider. So choice is yours. Right hand's reaching for the left leg, maybe the thigh, the knee, the calf or the ankle, and looking underneath that armpit. Pressing into the pads of the left fingers. Relaxing the jaw. Let's change sides. And release. Come forward into plank, rounding out through the upper back. Exhale to lower chaturanga, elbows into the ribs. Take a Superman Cobra. Reach the hands out in front, elbows and palms lifted. The fingers are trying to gently draw back towards the hips. Well done, yogis. Let's lower down. Crocodile pose, make a pillow with your hands. So we'll do a little bit of nerve flossing. So alternating heel to bottom. Find a little sway through the hips. Well done, yogis. Let's roll over onto your back. Keep those heels in close to the bottom. We'll take a very brief bridge pose, pressing into the feet, tucking the tailbone under, lifting up the hips. Feel the weight transfer into the head and the shoulders. Either keep the hands as they are or interlace the fingers and tuck the shoulders under. And be sure to keep those thighs hugging in towards one another. Let's lift the heels and lower down slowly. When you lower down, take the hands to the knees. Keep the arms straight, press the hands into the knees and pull the knees back into the hands. So we're imprinting that lower back onto the mat. And then relax the shins, hug it into the chest. Inhale to straighten the arms. Exhale to bend. Feel free to stay with this motion. Otherwise, reach those feet up towards the ceiling. Hands can stay on the outer legs, or maybe you can pistol grip those big toes. On the inhalation, take the legs out nice and wide. And as you exhale, come back together. So the next time the legs come back together is your last time. We're going to cross the left leg in front of the right leg, bend the knees, press the thighs together and lift head and shoulders off the mat. Reach the fingers to the back of the mat. Exhale to lower down. Let's twist, move the hips a little to the left. Knees will come down to the right. And use your block to rest the legs on. We're starting to wind down the practice. I'm going to count your next 2 exhalations. So I'll count the exhalation for 5, but just let your inhalation do what it wants to. We'll have a little pause and then we'll exhale together. So just breathing out now. And then inhale smoothly, deeply. Take a little pause. And exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale smoothly, deeply. Take a little pause. And exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you're ready, let's bring those knees back to center, centering the body on the mat and lifting the feet up towards the ceiling once again. Hands to the outer legs or maybe reaching for the big toes. Inhaling nice and wide. Exhaling back together. Third time is the last one. This time right leg crossing over the left, bending the knees, squeezing the thighs, lifting head and shoulders off the mat. Let's squeeze out any last bit of tension or stress. And lower down. Move the hips a centimetre or 2 to the right and the knees over to the left. Let's unwind the spine by deepening the breath and lengthening the exhalation. Now count your next 2 exhalations the same as before. Let's breathe out together. And then inhale smoothly, deeply, and pause. And exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale smoothly, deeply. A little pause. And exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you're ready, bring those legs back to the center of the mat. Let's uncross the legs and move into Savasana. I like to place one block under each thigh, but of course you can lay flat if you prefer. If you are using the blocks, just make sure your bottom is still on the mat. Tucking the shoulders under. Closing the eyes down. You might like to take Chin Mudra once again, connecting index finger and thumb. I will leave you here today, yogis, so please take as long as you like in Shavasana. Let's begin by softening the forehead, letting the eyes roll back, and relaxing the tongue and jaw. And as you drift into Shavasana, I'll count your next 2 exhalations. Let's breathe out together. Inhale smoothly, deeply, and pause. And exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale smoothly, deeply. And exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.